Coming up, we're going to talk about the creatures on Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. We're going to talk about dates for the holidays at Universal in 2019. And then I think we're going to Universal. We might not. We'll have to see. Okay, doesn't matter. Live from the Bob Varley Studio, not live from the Bob Varley Studio, just from the Bob Varley Studio. This is the Universal edition of the Diz Unplugged. This is episode 216 of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Universal vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is also brought to you by Dizboards.com. If you're looking for even more information to help you plan your Universal Orlando vacation, head over to Dizboards.com and join the discussion today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's show. I am your host, Craig Williams. Today, I am joined alongside by my co-host, Ryno.
Hello.
Yes. Thanks for being here, Ryno.
Thank you.
No, thank you. So we've got a great show coming up for you here today. Lots of shenanigans, I'm sure, are in store. Going to talk about some of the news. We may be taking you to Universal Orlando. I'm not quite positive on that. So today is Thursday the 25th that this is being released, and yesterday on the 24th there was a special annual pass holder preview of the Today Cafe at Universal Studios Florida, and the idea when we're recording this on the 23rd, the day before, is that we were indeed able to get in and take part of the experience, but obviously we don't know for sure whether or not it happened, so I'm mentioning it because it might be something that happens, and it also might not, so only time will tell. But hey, at least we know that Today Cafe will be ready soon for us to experience as just a normal guest and not an annual pass holder per se. But before we get to that and anything else, we have to go over some other stuff. And I know right off the bat of the show, I talked about the creatures. If you didn't watch last week's show, didn't listen to it, or don't remember, I mentioned that at that point we are 2 days into the creature reveal of all the creatures coming to Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. And well, that's over now. All the creatures have been revealed in glorious fashion. Probably not all of them that you will see in the attraction, but at least, because they didn't reveal the unicorn, but we know there's going to be a unicorn, so they didn't reveal everything, but they revealed 5 characters that we got to see up, not up close, but see in pictures. So we're going to go over and talk about them all now. So it launched off with Fluffy, the 3-headed dog. Ryno, where can you see Fluffy in the movies?
Sorcerer's Stone.
Sorry, the answer was Philosopher's
Stone.
Either one of those. So what is Fluffy guarding? I mean, technically, in a grander scheme, he is guarding the Sorcerer's Stone.
No,
but he's guarding
like a key or something, right? The passageway.
Yeah, he's guarding the passageway, and the only way to get past Fluffy is by the music box that's playing.
Yes,
that keeps Fluffy
I remember
to
that.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, you do, and eventually you'll get down to the Mirror of Erised, and that is where Harry.
It shows you your deepest desires.
Yes, and getting the stone could be one. Being reunited with your dead family could be one. It could be any of those.
Longingly looking at your ex-boyfriend could be another thing.
Dumbledore. Wink, wink. But yeah, so Fluffy, we got to see Fluffy in action. So they shared 2 shots of Fluffy hiding under the rocks, but then they also showed video of Fluffy in action moving around, and all 3 heads are moving. It's
I'm excited.
Super impressive.
I saw people complaining where they were like, "Oh, this dog that you're going to go by for seconds has more movement in it than a dragon that stands stationary." And I'm like, "Get over yourself. The dragon has to breathe fire every 15 minutes."
Yeah, and
I don't really want that moving around.
Yeah, and let's be real. It's the dragon would have to have some sort of covering over it to make sure that it was in. Like, I know there are examples of animatronics that can be in bad conditions out in the open and still work fine, if not perfectly. But let's be real. If you're putting all this money into animatronics, you want to keep them as protected and safe as possible. So I understand why they wouldn't want too much going on with stuff like that. So I think Fluffy looks a lot of cool. Looks a lot of cool. Yeah, Fluffy, very, very cool. Very, very. So
Very nice.
I hate myself. I don't know why I did that. Yeah. So then also the next announcement the following day was the Cornish Pixies, the fun little Cornish Pixies. And Ryno, do you remember what movie the Cornish Pixies were in?
Was it Chamber of Secrets?
It was Chamber of Secrets. So
and they were stupefied.
Yeah. Yep. We saw them in. Was it Stupefy?
No, I think it was Immobilis or something.
Yeah, it's the one that kind of freezes them temporarily.
It wasn't the wood one, right? What's the one that sounds like wood and it made oh my gosh, I can't remember words for anything. The kid who cut the snake's head off. Neville. Yeah. It made him like wood.
Oh, no. That's not that one where they freeze up like that.
Petrify. That was what it was. They petrify.
It's not.
But
petrify.
it was Immobilis, I think.
But they do mess with Neville and in that scene. And
they like pull his ears.
Pull his ear, pull him up. So and that happened under Gilderoy Lockhart's awful guidance on there. So there's going to be more than 20 pixies hidden throughout the entire adventure. They're right around a foot tall, just a little bit bigger than that. We know that they're going to be definitely around the Flying Fort Anglia, which will be placed out here too. So
it still fits where it is in the train.
Yeah,
it's still in the same. One of my favorite things is if you ride the Hogwarts Express from one side to the other, one park to the other, different show depending on where you are, but all of the things that you see on there are where they are when you get out of the train. Yeah. Like, so that they're perspectively like where they're supposed to be.
As they should be. So next creature isn't a creature of sorts, but it is something that we will encounter along the way, and that is the Devil's Snare. Ryno, do you remember Devil's Snare? What movie is that?
Philosopher's Stone.
Or
Forbidden Journey.
Or I meant Sorcerer's Stone.
Sorcerer's Stone.
Do you remember where you
have
see
to
the
relax.
Devil's Snare?
And then you slip down into it.
But where was this?
It was right after the puppy.
Yeah, well, yes, no. It was also one of the things guarding the Mirror of Erised and the Sorcerer's Stone. So, like Ryno said, you can't not fight against the vines, otherwise it will strangle you up and just it'll kill you. So if you remain calm, you are at your best advantage, and you can drop down and. Well, I mean, we've talked about it before, where the Devil's Snare is going to play into this attraction with the effect that they're going to have. So it's going to be cool. Cannot wait for it. So then centaurs. Ryno, what's a centaur?
It is a half human, half horse fella or lady.
Now, do you want to describe the proportions of what you think are human and what are horse-sized?
Well, he could be very well off. I don't know.
No, I mean like the hooves.
Oh, he's got 4 legs. It's basically a horse's body up to the neck, and then
I'd say it's more like the waist,
and then human from waist up. Yeah. Human waist up. Yeah. So his human waist has been attached to the 2 front horse legs.
But then they also have ears that are very similar to the Na'vi in sorts, in a way, and they're hairy all over like horses. So the centaurs, though, there's going to be one that stands over 8 feet tall, which Universal like saying that would make him a great athlete in the Muggle world. So I think that's stupid.
Umbridge would not care for these people.
These folks. You know what?
She does not deem them acceptable.
It would make him maybe a great volleyball player. It would make him a good basketball player. Height is not always an advantage in every sport.
Oh yeah, I bet he can bump set spike.
He will never be a jockey. He will never be a jockey. So I don't appreciate that. So I can't imagine him playing.
Not unless he's making other centaurs.
How's he going to play water polo? When's the last time you've seen a horse swim?
Well, he could play water polo.
He could play regular polo as himself, riding himself like a jockey, but he cannot play water polo. I don't believe that. So, centaurs, they're going to be there. So, we've seen centaurs also, again, in Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, in the Forbidden Forest. So, what was it? Firenze? That was the main one, the one who gets hated on because he helps Harry Potter along the way. So, centaurs. Pretty cool. And then the last one that was revealed was the blast-ended Scroot. Now, Ryno, what movie is this in?
It's not in the movies.
That's correct. It's not. So it has been mentioned before in the books in The Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, and Half-Blood Prince. The blast-ended Scroot is an actual creation of Hagrid where he crossbred fire crabs and manticores. And so now essentially we have these 8-foot-long creatures that are up to 10 feet high with their tails. And it has a big stinger and essentially...
Why would you make these?
Because Hagrid is crazy, so they
Good thing he's a teacher at the local school.
Exactly. No, it's perfect place for him. But yeah, essentially, they're going to blast fire out of their ends. So
Out of his butt.
I don't like to say that. I think that's why it has ended on that. But so those are the main creatures revealed. The blast-ended Scroot, I think, looks cool. So I've heard some chatter about what.
It creeps me out. It looks creepy.
It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, especially if it's farting fire at me. Or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it will.
I imagine that it's... I'm not going to go there, but it's... I've got pots. I've got them. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for all the creatures, specifically seeing the blast-ended Scroot. But, yeah, no, really, all of them. So we're getting very close to the grand opening of it. So Universal says these also aren't the only creatures you may encounter on your journey with Hagrid. You may hear some thestrals near the carriages. Look out for sculptures of various magical creatures living in the Black Lake, including merpeople and grindylows. And keep your ears tuned for the voice of gnomes. They're known to scurry about the grounds, and even more surprises, unicorn. So, yep, opening
What about
officially.
his little dragon? Remember the little dragon they made him get rid of?
Yep. Who knows? Maybe Norbit.
I think that's a movie starring Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Norbit's the movie.
Yeah.
Norbit. And it's also Hagrid's dragon. It opens June 13th again as a reminder for everyone, and I'm excited. I cannot wait for that. But we're going to move on to our next news story, and that is that we now have the 2019 holiday dates for Universal Orlando Resort. This is a very quick one. It's more of just a blip on the radar, and that is that the holidays will kick back off on November 16th, 2019, and run through January 5th, 2020. So there's no announcements of anything being new as of this time. So we know that there will be stuff like the Christmas in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which includes the Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle, that projection show happening over in Islands of Adventure. Of course, there's Christmas decor throughout the land. You have Christmas Celestina Warbeck and the Banshees. You also have Universal's Holiday Parade featuring Macy's. You have Grinchmas over in Seuss Landing, including the Grinchmas Holiday Spectacular, which got a refresh of sorts last year. So I don't expect anything new this year. I don't. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe they'll add something new to the holiday parade, but I think it's going to be pretty typical for what's happening each year in and out. But you'll be able to start the holidays off at Universal on November 16th. I can tell you that for sure. So, any thoughts on that?
I look forward to it. It's like slamming from Halloween into Christmas real quick.
Yeah, it is. But it's okay because I like it better than the days that Universal didn't start their holiday stuff until the first weekend of December.
Yeah.
And it's not that big of a deal now, but back in the day before you started, we always had either podcast crews or our Diz parties that very first weekend of December to center around Pete's birthday. And we almost always had to miss out on like all of our Universal coverage on the first weekend for holiday stuff because we were always on a cruise ship or in a party. And I know that sounds like super like braggy on that, but it annoys me when I'm not at something on like the very first weekend. I like being there. So I'm happy they moved it to mid-November on there. It gives you more time to enjoy the Christmas spirit. Amen.
Grimace. Mary Chrysler.
Thank you. Mary Chrysler. That's what Pops used to drive. Anyways, so that's it for our little news segment we have here. And hopefully now I can say we are taking you to Universal Orlando right now. We made it to Universal Orlando. So don't have to worry about any awkward moments back in the studio now. But of course, we came here for the opening of Today Cafe, not the grand opening, the annual pass holder soft preview.
Yeah.
Oh, that just came out
Soft
weird.
preview.
I did not enjoy that. Of course, you see it right behind us, spoiling the magic here a little bit. We already were in there and ate, so we had to get in line before. I have a commitment tonight, so we needed to know that we could get in and out quickly. So we wanted to be one of the first people in there because of that, and blah, blah, blah. That's why we're now introducing this after we ate. So let's go inside.
Let's get in our time machine. It's parked down the street here.
And go back to when we went inside, and we'll show you. We are inside Today Cafe right now, and I mean, you knew that, obviously. We weren't just going to stand outside the building. We had to come in. First off, it's a little bit of a different procedure right now while it's in this soft opening for annual pass holders, so I'm not going to really talk about the experience of like going through the entire line and getting there, but once you do enter the building, the first thing you do is you make your way past all of the pastries and breads and such. So, you know, you'll see croissants and then very fancy stuff like green tea matcha puffs and Earl Grey lavender cream puff, and then a big confetti cake, lemon meringue tarts, like literally all the desserts, you know, just like you got all the dessert items here back when this was Beverly Hills Boulangerie. And then once you make your way past those, then you get to the place where you actually order if you want the sandwiches. And today we're not doing desserts and stuff like that. We'll be back once it's fully open for that. We are here for the sandwiches and to try a salad and a big choices to make there. So, you know, because they have stuff like the Carnegie, which was your pastrami sandwich that you would expect in a deli, you know, caprese sandwich, stuff like that. But we ultimately made two different choices in terms of sandwiches, one salad. And I'm going to start by talking about the one that's in front of me right now, which is, I apologize for the big pause there, it's the Big Apple. So basically it is it's red delicious apples, cheddar, pepper jack Swiss, roasted tomatoes, grilled on farmhouse white bread. So a fancy grilled cheese. It's $11.99 and we got it with potato salad. So let me get going on this.
I don't know, how do you feel about apples and cheese? Are you a fan of that?
I am a fan of that.
Okay.
So, like one of my favorite, I'm pretending I'm being healthy even when I'm not, kind of meals is like a turkey burger, but then with apples and cheese on top of it. So yeah, especially if it's like a brie, then I think that's the best combination. Okay, here we go.
You didn't get an apple?
No, I did get an apple the first time. The apples are sliced thin, but for me, the big thing I was looking for was the pepper jack in there. That's like one of my favorite cheeses. And so like I got the cheddar right away. That's overpowering it. It's very cheesy. So if you like grilled cheeses, if you like fancy grilled cheeses, this is definitely it. The pepper jack didn't stick out enough for me right away. Finally came through. The apples are a perfect blend. I really like this, so I'm going to put the rest down. Later, I'm going to now have some potato salad.
Potato salad?
It's actually like fingerling potatoes cut in half with the mixture. It's okay. I'm going to have one more right away right now.
Are the potatoes like super soft? Describe them.
I think the potatoes are the right level of soft. I'm just not blown away by it. I don't know. I think being that it's like big potatoes like that, it's kind of like one of those dishes you want to just throw in your mouth, but the potatoes are big. The mayonnaise mixture on it, it's not too bad. But, you know, it's not like, it's not game changer for sure, but I'll let you start to try it.
I am not usually a fan of apples with like cheese and stuff like that. It's one of those things I think about it and I go no, but then I have it and I'm like pretty good. Like I had it in a turkey sandwich the other day. It caught me by surprise, but it was really delicious. I'm a little concerned because I don't love Swiss cheese, but here we go.
I can't really taste it. If you could tell me that you ate it and tasted the Swiss right away, then I will call you a liar.
No, the combo of cheese is really good. I get what you're saying. Definitely a lot of cheddar. I get that pepper jack. I didn't get an apple though, so. Okay, Apple, I see you. I thought it was gonna be like these like really thick cut pieces of the apple, I guess, and it's like it seems like they're really thin. So it's more like, oh, actually, you know what? I just realized you can see a little bit hanging out. Is that cheese?
That's an apple.
That was an apple.
Yeah, and you really thought that was cheese?
Yeah, it looked like it could have been a Gouda, even though that's not in here, is it?
No, it's not. I see what you're saying, though.
No, but they're like very, very thin. I was thinking it was going to be like hunks of apple, so it gives it that nice like tart. It breaks up that cheese flavor. Words I can't describe. I am excited to try this potato salad though, because it does look very appetizing, and I like when the potatoes are all like still full. But for me, I feel like the mayonnaise mixture is actually pretty good, but I feel like the potatoes could have been a little more cooked. They're a little hard for my taste, but not bad. Not as amazing as I wanted it to be, though. And while I've got you here, I think I'm just going to dive right in to the other sandwich, which, let me just pull it up real quick here, was the Bulls and the Bears, which is a smoky beef brisket, cheddar cheese, arugula, pickled red onion, horseradish cream, served on a crusty baguette for $13.99. This restaurant was so quiet when you came in here, and I spit food out on me. So I'm just going to dive right in here. This looks good. I like a crusty baguette.
We'll do that next time. That's a good one. Like I said, I have a
I could hear the crunch all the way back from here.
The roll, I was concerned when they said crispy baguette because sometimes, you know, that bread can get like really hard on the outside and it sometimes cuts the inside of my gums. But this is like nice and crunchy, super soft on the inside. And I was a little concerned. I know Craig loves his brisket, but sometimes it can be a little too much with like the barbecue sauce or whatever it's in. But I actually really enjoy this a lot. It's good. The red onion isn't overpowering, and it's a very tasty brisket. But you're the brisket expert, so I'm going to let you try it and let me know what you think.
Before I dig into that brisket sandwich, I'm going to take a sip of my Nitro cold brew coffee. Of course, you know, they have touted the coffee here. They have like the one special roast that they have just for here. I didn't want that. It's very hot. That's why we're sitting inside in all this noise, is because it's hot. I don't want it, but Nitro cold brew, solid. I love Nitro cold brew. So
I like how foamy it is.
yeah, no, it is. It's foamy. You know, having black coffee on Nitro, it cuts out on like pretty much all of the bitterness. It ends up getting very creamy, like to the point where you never need cream with a Nitro cold brew. At least I don't. I drink my coffee black normally anyways, so then when I drink it on Nitro, it's like a dessert drink actually almost. So, but it's good. $4.69 for it. It's a little steep. They also do have just cold brew coffee too, so make sure you are particular about which one you want, or you'll be like me and make them have to take it off and add it back on again. But oh man, that is a crisp baguette.
Yeah. Oh, I can hear that crunch over everything.
I think most of it fell back out. That's a good freaking sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know, I do love brisket of all kinds, whether it's on the barbecue front, sliced brisket like this, just any kind. This is good brisket. And then with the cheddar on the sandwich, it's pairing very nicely with that, the onions on there.
And not too pickly.
No, they're not too pickly. You get that little scent, that small little sense of sweetness with it, but then also the pickled kind of sour tartness to it too. It is really well balanced. This is an awesome sandwich. I was getting worried at $13.99 how that was going to be worth it, but I would say it definitely passes. So the next thing I'm going to dig into also was on the plate was the fruit cup. And I like from the start, looking at it, that you can see like blueberries and a strawberry and a watermelon and pineapple. And of course you have the standard crappy fruit items, the melon, the honeydew on there. But it, like looking at it on the top, I'm hoping that it continues as you go down to the bottom.
Yes, it's just an illusion. They give you the 3 blueberries up front and then say hit the bricks. Oh, watermelon.
That's 100% what they did. Yeah. They hid all of the bad stuff at the bottom and made it seem like they were going to have good stuff by placing that on top. But, you know, the fruit's tasty. Yeah, it's fresh. I can't complain on that. I'd probably still opt to go for the potato salad as my first choice. But, you know, if it was really hot and I wanted that refreshing side, I'd probably go with the fruit cup. I'll let you try the fruit because you didn't, and then you can dig into the salad.
I just ate all the pineapple. Oh yeah. Big hunks of the honeydew and the... Is honeydew one and melons the other?
I think so.
But yeah, this is still really good. I like that it's, like you said, a nice option on a hot day. Sometimes you just want some cold fruit, which is good though. And I like that it's like strawberries, blueberries, and a little bit of pineapple, even if it still has the melon in there. Melon, yesterday's fruit. Well, we also got a salad. We got the Soho salad, and I am going to read you what is on that in 1 second here. That is roasted cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, arugula, farro, avocado, prosciutto, and lemon vinaigrette. It looks really good. The prosciutto's all cubed in here, so it presents itself like ham. I see one Brussels sprout right on top here. Oh, nope, we got another one underneath. I really like this. I really like arugula, so I'm really happy that it's just, there are salads that aren't just
romaine.
Yeah, iceberg, whatever, you know, like it's nice to have another option. I feel like arugula and prosciutto go together so well, and then you throw in some farro in there. Farro is the new quinoa. And the roasted cauliflower, which I don't ever see outside of like me putting it on a salad and sweet tomatoes. So I am digging this. This was $12.49. Comes in a bowl. I could see
Pretty
myself
big-sized
getting this
bowl.
again. Yeah, and the lemon vinaigrette. This salad was a little shiny. I was worried it was going to be like doused in that lemon vinaigrette, but it's actually pretty good. It's not super lemony, so it's very refreshing. I'm a fan. I'll let you try this because otherwise I'm going to keep eating it.
Trying to get it all together in here. Make sure I have a little bit of everything.
There's a lot of farro in this.
Yeah.
You're not short on the avocado either.
No. And I'm right there with you. I love arugula-based salads. Almost popped out of my mouth there for a second. I think I'm at a point now in my life where I prefer arugula-based salads. If I can find them in a place, I'll make it at home. Just toss it all together with a nice light olive oil, vinaigrette dressing. And so I love it. That's the base for it. Some bites, I'm getting more lemon vinaigrette than others. But when I do get it, I like it a lot. For me, I'm the opposite of Ryno. Ryno likes light on the dressing. I am a heavy on the dressing person, so I wouldn't have been happy with more, but for the average person, I think there's probably a good amount there. The prosciutto definitely helps spice it up, make it way more interesting. I really like the salad. This is something I know I'll get again in the future. So I think at this point, we're just going to finish up the food we have here and then digest, and we'll let you know our final thoughts. Wowie wow wow. So, did any of your original opinions from when we were inside there, did any of those change?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
So for me, clear winner was the brisket sandwich. I didn't actually even want to order it, but I know you love brisket, and every time we were done recording, that bread was so good and the brisket was really good.
Yeah.
I would definitely get that again. The salad was super delicious too. I actually think it was perfect to split the salad and the sandwich together. Nice future option. The grilled cheese for me, I didn't care. It was okay when we first took the bite, but it definitely needed more apple.
Yeah.
And I'm also in my personal life trying not to eat as much cheese lately, so it felt like a lot of cheese to me. But so it doesn't sit well for time. But you're not gonna be like us and take pictures and do whatever.
Yeah.
So
I understand what you're saying with the
wasn't
cheese.
bad,
No, it was good, and I could get through the half of the grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
But
No.
I couldn't imagine if I would have had to eat the entire whole one by myself. That would have been way too much.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but you're right. The brisket was the standout. Our friend Courtney, good God. Our friend Courtney was sitting right beside us, and she had the turkey sandwich, and we were on the fence about that. It looks like we would have made a good choice if we would have gotten it.
It looked good, yeah.
But we'll come back and get it at some point in time. But I did like both. The brisket sandwich was that is worth making a trip back just for that sandwich. I really loved it.
It's nice because everything we had, and judging from Courtney's dish too, everything looks like it's made with quality ingredients.
Yeah.
Though the potato salad wasn't particularly the best potato salad I've ever had in my life, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was still good.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So love the brisket. Probably pass in the future on the grilled cheese, but it's not a bad choice if you make it. Just not one I'll probably do again.
Yeah.
Potato salad, okay. Fruit, fresh, but give us more of the good stuff. And the Soho salad was awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. I would definitely come back here again. So
Yeah, so, we will be back here. We have to come back for desserts. I'm sure when we do that, we will end up also getting another sandwich, too, to try it out. So this isn't the last time we're here at Today Cafe. Next time for sure.
Today.
Yeah, last time today we'll be here at the Today Cafe. But we will be back again, definitely, to try the desserts. So, on a future upcoming episode, so back to the studio. And if we didn't just go there, then I apologize for that awkward pause. And we will now wrap things up with the show like we have been doing lately, like is going to be a staple. We're going to answer 2 questions from YouTube. And once again, I will remind you, like I'm going to every week now, if you have a question for us that you want us to answer on next week's show, you need to leave a comment on YouTube with with your question in there so we can answer it. And if you're listening to this through iTunes or some other platform of audio listening, then you can always tweet at us at Teleclaster, at Ryno, RYNO1185. You can get us at Diz Universal. You can email us, podcast at DizUnplug.com, or you can just turn on YouTube for a second, find this episode, and then leave the comment on this one. So there are options. I promise you that. There are ways to get us to answer these questions, and we are going to answer 2, like I said. And I realized that this week what I was going to do was I was gonna heart specific comments that I wanted to answer, and that was going to be the way I could quickly scroll to where it is. And then I realized after like 2 days, I forgot about that, and then I just started hearting a bunch of comments. So then it got ruined. But
just wearing that heart on your sleeve.
That's it. You know what? Sometimes when I don't know what to say, all I can do is share a heart, and I realize that I should have more to say, but sometimes I don't, and I do that. So we're gonna push through it, though. We're gonna do good. And this first one comes from Taryn D19. Says, "Hi guys, curious. Do you have a favorite character interaction at Universal Studios or Islands? Could be a favorite one-time interaction or a character who's consistently great for interaction. Thanks."
I like meeting Poe from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah,
He was fun.
yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't want to squeeze that big panda?
You're not gonna go with the farting glitter troll?
I haven't met him. I'd like to. I haven't seen his movie though. I don't know.
Well, I feel like I'm going to start. I'm gonna say my 2 that I have that then you are going to end up jumping on the bandwagon for.
We'll see. Because if it's Spider-Man, I don't know.
It's not. No, I do not care for any of the Marvel characters. It's nothing against them.
They make me feel weird.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like that I can see their faces, and some of them, it's uncomfortable. I don't care for it. But my 2 favorite interactions that I am happy every time I just time it right. I don't go out of my way to ever try to find characters at Universal, but the ones that I'm happiest when I see, first off, Doc Brown. If it's Doc Brown on his bike,
you're right. I am hopping on it.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know. You're hopping on this one,
I'm hopping
and
on.
you're going to hop on the next one. So usually, you can get lucky and find Doc Brown. He's either going to be riding on his bike through the streets of Hollywood, or you'll see him by the train, obviously, and such, kind of off to the side by Kid Zone. And whether he's on foot or if he is on bike, he is always spot on.
Oh, he's great. I love
Doc
when
Brown.
he's like crawling on the train. He'll just pop up and be like, "What? What's the day? What's the weather?" Like he'll just yell something out. And you're like,
Oh, he has no barriers with it.
Yeah.
He does what he wants, and he interacts with who he wants. Like, it's, every now and then you'll get lucky and it'll be like, "Can I get your picture on the bike with you?" Whatever. And he'll stop. And other times he'll just like ride by, and then he'll get, and it's like, okay, I like that. He's committing to it. He is just living this character day in, day out, does not care what anyone else thinks about it. And so it makes it fun anytime you get to find him one way or another. And it's a photo that I get every single time I see him. And the other one I love that, you never know quite where you'll find him. I think the last couple times I found him, it's been outside of the Classic Monsters restaurant. And who is that, Ryno?
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's while I could not stand Beetlejuice's Graveyard Review or mashup, anything with the Beetlejuice show, I like meeting Beetlejuice as a person. I think
He makes me
high
feel weird.
energy. What?
He makes me feel weird. I like to watch him from a distance, but not make eye contact because I'm afraid he'll talk to me.
Yeah. But I don't mind if he talks to me. Usually he's just goes and gets in his own zone and starts doing his own thing. And
I can't do the Beetlejuice show.
I can't do Michael Keaton. It's fine. It's fine. You'll get it one day. I can't do it either. But he takes it and he runs with it in his own way. And it's an interesting character interaction. The level of intensity I feel like you get at Universal with these 2 characters, I feel like is unmatched in a lot of places. I'm not saying that there aren't characters that I feel like bring an enthusiasm to their roles. Like anytime I meet Flynn Rider over at Walt Disney World, I feel like Flynn always has this like arrogance to him and kind of an energy, but I feel like Doc Brown and Beetlejuice are both truly eccentric, and it makes it fun going out of your way to actually meet them. But any other ones that you have now? Betty
I'm
Boop.
meeting the Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
gang.
What?
Yeah, because they're always with the Mystery Machine, so you can meet them, and it's always fun. I don't know. I don't always like the Shaggy, but the Velma and Daphne are good. I wanted to call her Louise, but
I mean, it essentially is the same thing. So no, it's the same thing. But
I always like to pretend I'm actually meeting a Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, I don't know why I know why my brain is like that, because in the live action Scooby-Doo, it was Sarah Michelle Gellar. But I keep thinking I'm meeting that version of Daphne and not the cartoon one that I'm actually meeting. So I like to believe that's who it is. It's my own little world I live in.
That is good. That is good. So I'm just trying to find one more question. There's two here that I could technically ask, but I'm trying to think between. There's actually a couple more, but which one do I want to go with? Okay, I'm just gonna answer it. It's from Mischief Managed, and Mischief Managed. He or she, sorry, I don't know which one or anything else. Might not be any of those. It might be
Robot.
That's what you jumped to?
I believe that robots could be with us today.
There you go. Okay. Then potentially robot, potentially anything. But Mischief Managed says, I've often heard people moan about Universal PhotoPass and compare it unfavorably to Disney's offering. Could you either do a vlog or answer a question about how to get the most from a Universal PhotoPass? So my Universal Photos.
I never have used it. I like, they're always there at the front of the park with their yellow Nikon cameras, but they've got like the areas around the park now where you can like you just kind of scan the ticket and like it takes the photo for you and it's not a human being anymore, like in the Jurassic Park area. I don't know. I don't really know much about it because it's not something I need to use. I feel like I've had a picture taken by them once and it didn't come out great, but that was also true of Disney's PhotoPass too, so I don't.
Yeah, so here's where I'm going to break it down and go into it. So my Universal Photos, there are different packages that you can get from it. There's a one-day photo package for $69.99, exclusively available online. You get 1 day of photos in the parks, unlimited digital downloads of your theme park photos, a My Universal Photos themed lanyard and card. You get discounts on My Universal Photos photo gift products, view and share your photos through the Amazing Pictures mobile app, a 1 4x6 and 1 5x7 print, and then exclusive pricing on other prints. The 3-day package has the same thing, 3 consecutive days of photos for $89.99 on it. Then they go in a little bit further with that with $5 5x7 or $10 8x10 prints, $2 4x6 prints, so a little bit better for you. Then Volcano Bay also does a package for $39.99. Save $10 off that package as well as the 3-day package if you buy it online versus through the parks. And then every now and then with a vacation package, you will receive a discount or thrown into a vacation package as well too. So there's lots of locations that do take this in quotes. So as obviously Ryno said, right at the front of the park as you're coming in, they
Can't
will
miss it.
You want to miss it, but you can't.
Yeah, they'll always want to take your picture, and you'd be like, "No, I don't want it. I'm alone."
Yeah, and I don't care for that. So they have it at the ET's Toy Closet. So where you have the photo spot with ET, at the SpongeBob meet and greet, Men in Black obviously on ride, Revenge of the Mummy on ride, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket on ride, at the Shrek Donkey and Friends meet and greet, Transformers meet and greet, then random characters roaming around Universal. Like Ryno said, there's the Back to the Future automated photo capture.
I didn't say that.
Well, you mentioned that they have
Where's the Back
automatic.
to the Future one?
It is
With the
by
DeLorean?
the DeLorean, yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
there was an automatic one over there.
Yeah, it's that one and then the one at in
The Jurassic Park
Thank
one,
you.
yeah, I knew about
Yeah.
that. But the
So-
Jeep with the,
Yeah.
which makes no sense because the Jeep is with the Spinosaurus
Yeah.
from the third movie. But whatever, we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a photo op inside Despicable Me, and then the Gringotts in the queue where they will take your photo for your bank ID, crap like that. Islands of Adventure, you have Spider-Man in the store. You have Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. Incredible Hulk coaster, Dudley Do-Right, Ripsaw Falls, Jurassic Park, River Adventure.
Is there a Spider-Man? What do you mean? There's a Spider-Man photo op in the ride?
There is the one. I know the one is they do have a Spider-Man you can meet in the one store, and then much like Gringotts, I don't know if they do it all the time, but they'll do the one where when you get to the one room, they'll be like, "Okay, everyone, get in front of the green screen wall and pose."
Okay.
Yeah. So that's something that they would run. They have another in-queue photo for High in the Sky Sue's Trolley Train Ride. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, obviously, on that ride. The Raptor Encounter, and then just, random other characters throughout. I'm not going to go into Volcano Bay. There's ride photos on a lot of the slides. There's a bunch of selfie stations set up.
Volcano Bay photos of you on water slides are never things you want to look at.
Oh, good.
You're like, this is so fun. You're like slightly in pain, but also like shocked, but also having a good time.
Yeah. So I think the thing is with this, it's just, for me, as much as I dislike a lot of times the photo pass photographers over at Disney, I feel like I can usually get a couple good photos out of it throughout the entire year, but that's because we're fortunate enough to have it in our annual pass where we always get free photo pass pictures. I never once came to the parks where we took enough pictures as a family where I could have justified the price of paying for something like that. I can't justify it here. There's just not enough that you get your picture from in the parks. There's not enough photographers placed around. And I have had our picture taken at some like the character breakfasts, other moments where I've just gone and looked to see what job they did it. And
yeah, you hate the Grinch one.
I hate the Grinch one. I did have my picture taken before at one of the first ones that you get when you walked in, just to see what they did. And they aren't good photographers. And I'm not trying to slander anyone or get them to force them into losing their job at it. I just don't think they are talented. If they can barely use the cameras that you have, I can only imagine what would happen if you then handed your camera to them that's even more complicated and said, "Can you take my picture?" I don't feel like they would be able to. And much like Disney, that is the same thing. They know how to use the cameras they have and the settings that they're taught to use, and it's like something you don't want to break. I'm not saying every single one of these photographers isn't good. Some of them, I'm sure, do the job because they love photography and that is something they're passionate about and they are good at it. But unfortunately, there's too many bad ones in the group to really justify it. And until they have automatic photo spots everywhere around, so you always know you're going to get a good photo, I personally will never pay that price to have Universal photos for a day. About the only way I would do it every now and then, Universal will do like a free giveaway. First person to meet at this spot will get a free my Universal photos for the day. And I think about that sometime, like, oh, that would be cool to win, except I can't because I have family who works for Universal, and because of that, I am not eligible to win any of their prizes. So that sucks. But yeah, maybe one day we'll pay and do a full review on it, but just on paper, from what I've seen from just getting goofy photos taken with character meals and such, I can never justify the cost from it. Not because of the photographers and not because of having enough to warrant it. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this episode. So thank you so much to everyone out there for listening and watching. Ryno, thank you for joining along in this discussion.
Thank you.
And, of course, if you need more information, head over to head over to our show notes page, disunplugged.com. You can find show notes for this show and all the others on the Disunplugged Podcast Network. You can find links to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, email address, uopodcast@disunplug.com, plus so much more. So disunplug.com on that. Of course, you can always head over to Disboards, continue the conversation, and jump in on the Universal forums over there. Lots of great extra information. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe, hit that bell button so you get alerted anytime we get a new video. And then, as always, leave us comments down below. Leave us your questions for next week, and we will answer them and hit a thumbs up.
Are we definitely having a show next week?
Yeah, well...
I'm just checking because the Tuesday show, we're not having a Tuesday show.
We might not be having a show next week.
We got there's a social media events going on for 30th anniversary and whatnot, and so I don't know that there's a day that we're going to be able to come here and record this, or we can maybe do something in the park and whatever.
Did not think about that.
Sorry.
We'll have to ponder it over.
So if you don't see us next week, we'll be back the week after, either way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So that's definitely happening. So, whoopsies. Okay, and then where was I at in this whole spiel? And, man, doesn't really matter. Oh, iTunes. If you're listening to this on iTunes or any other place, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review us, whether it's iTunes. I think I added us finally to Spotify. Ooh. And I think we're available on Google still. I think we're available on Stitcher. I try to cover most.
I just realized Spotify had podcasts on it. My thing told me, and I was like, why aren't we there?
We are. I don't use Spotify. I use free Spotify every now and then, but I don't pay for Spotify. I'm on the Apple Music camp because I feel like it has always synced with my devices better, and now that it also syncs with Alexa, I feel like it
about time.
It took a while, but you know what? Amazon and Apple, of course, they were going to fight it out there for a while. So, and there is that mix where I know there's stuff on Spotify that I wish I had on iTunes that I don't, and there's stuff on iTunes that I know I have that's not on Spotify, and so it was like.
It all came down to somebody gave me a gift card, and that's where I got pulled in, and so I'm stuck.
For me, I was on Rdio, and then that I believe got absorbed by Pandora.
That is, yeah.
That was back before Spotify was really good. It was an awesome one, had a great interface. It was perfect. I love it. I miss it. I don't think there is a perfect service at this point. All around,
but we're not on Pandora, so
we're not on there. That's a discussion for a different show. Our favorite streaming music services that have nothing to do with Universal. Anywho, sorry for that tangent there right at the end, but thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you next week. Until then, we still have not changed the name.